Hi, and welcome to the Digital Freedom Coach podcast with me, Erik Olsson. Here, we go in depth and talk about how you can use digital tools to create more freedom in your life. Are you, as me, curious about how you can work remotely, how you can build a business online, and what it actually takes to create the life of your dreams? Then this is the podcast for you. For more info on what we do, check out thedigitalfreedomcoach.com.
So this is very exciting news.
It is. So we have a new, very exciting episode with the Digital Freedom Coach podcast. Today we have a very special guest, and we have met before, not once, but twice. So for you, my dear listener, listen to this podcast wherever you are on the globe, in the world. You might know that I also have another podcast in Swedish, right? So that's called like Live Your Dream Life. So I have that with another coach. Together we meet other, interesting people and people that are into personal growth and mental training and business development and how to live an optimal life, right? So I had the pleasure to meet Rickard in that podcast. And now we had our last session, recording the Swedish one. And it just hit me, hey, Rickard, I want to invite you to this English podcast, right? Because we were talking about LinkedIn and Instagram and, social media and business and personal growth and bam, bam, bam. So I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to invite you to this podcast. And I won't say that much about you. I was thinking maybe you can sort of introduce yourself. The one thing I might say is that you are like a social media specialist, right? So
Yeah, that's my title.
yeah.
That's right.
So please introduce yourself, Rickard. What are you doing and who are you?
I'm very excited to be here, Erik. Like you said, we have had this podcast twice in Swedish, and for the first time, I do a podcast episode in English. So I'm very excited and a little bit nervous. I will do my best to be so concrete and so give so much value as possible for our listeners. My name is Rickard Amidani. My title is a social media specialist for an organization called Nordic Hotels and Resorts. We have about 40 hotels in the Scandinavian, all from Denmark, Finland, Norway, and Sweden, of course. So and my main area is to work with the marketing and especially the e-com and social media for about 8 to 10 hotels here in Sweden. So I hope to and even before that can be interesting to know, I was a commercial director for Stenungsbaden. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to the hotel business, and also like have had the pleasure to see so many different hotels and like analysis what the human behavior can be like when it comes to, like we said before, from a resort hotel all the way to city hotel. Is so different venues, but it don't matter because what I have learned is that the human behavior is so powerful, and if you can see the pattern, then you can also measure on it. So I will try to give so much value, even if you work coach in the hotel business or whatever you work with. We're going to talk more about patterns and also about like the emotional intelligence more than just like the hotel business in per se. So yeah, so that's me. That's me.
And also, I think there is some background noise. I hear some background noise okay,
I,
that's cool.
I have no idea. I'm at office hotel, so sure.
Okay, well, it seems to be
As
working.
long as they do business, it's okay. Fine by me. So.
Okay, cool. So I was thinking kind of before we go like in depth in each specific area, right? Maybe because I know like with the two other podcast episodes we had in Swedish, you're also kind of in personal growth, right? Like personal development, and that maybe that could be a good way to start, like a good spot to start the discussion or the dialogue, right? So maybe you can share a bit what you like, your background in personal growth and how you came into this kind of behavioral business, and to kind of start to understand people as well.
I worked a lot with sales in my in my career, and I had the pleasure to work in a prison before. Uh, and when I was there, you sit the pass for 12-hour schedule. It's pretty long time. And when nothing exciting happens, you start to try to read people,
Yeah.
and this become like some kind of habit, and then you try to challenge yourself every single day. Like, okay, is what I think I can read, is it true? Or, can I try to see the next step all the time? And do I feel the energy? And I have had a gift, in my opinion, that I am very energized, sensitive. I can feel a lot of energies, and sometimes it affects me very negatively. I can feel like, no, I don't have the control, and also positively, because I can feel, okay, so this is the balance. So it's a gift, but it can also be my worst enemy. But when I was at this prison, I just tried to develop my skills when it comes to read people, read situations, and that's like the start point on my career to what I become today. Because when I took that kind of experience into the sales, how you come to the sales career, it was simple to persuade people. It was simple to make them understand your communication, make them like what you like, or make them trust you. And that was my main reason. I know that my service was good. I know that it was the best. So my only option was to make you also think it was the best by trusting me. That was like my main goal when I was in these meetings. And I used the same persuasion techniques that I use in this, like in the prison, to keep the balance. And I also use it today in the marketing, because people are people, patterns are patterns. We are very easy we're very easy to read and predict if we just like take the time and analyze the situation. When it comes to marketing, you have so much more time because you're in a computer, you have data. When you work in sales, it's like this one is one to one. You have to be more, how you say, more in the moment. You have to be, you can't not depend on data. You have to depend on your emotions, and very much on your gut feeling. And yeah, so what I mean by that is that was the start point for me to start to read about it, to buy all these books about psychology, about watch all those YouTubes, read the book, my favorite book, Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, about those 6 principles to make people say yes. And yeah, it was a kind of course, it's technique behind it. So it a kind of manipulation, if that's the word, by manipulative. But it was not the main reason. The main reason was to make them be like me, because I know that it was a commercial winning in it. If they trusted me in like in the last row. But where we are today, you need to buy books. You need to like develop yourself every single time. You can get so much value on YouTube for free, and then you also need to practice it every single day. And when you practice it, this is the hard truth. But you, in the beginning, it's really bad. You try all those techniques, and sometimes people like look at you like, "What are you doing? Seriously, what is this? This is kind of joke." Or then you just try to develop, and eat. How to say, eat the crap, if that's the word. I'm not in Swedish. It's like you have to just take it and then develop and analyze, why did not this work, and did I not see the pattern? And for me, it was a game changer when I try to see the pattern, how people react. Because in my experience, you can put people and this is maybe very taboo, but you can put people in boxes, because some patterns is always the end results. Like Einstein said, if you do the same, an idiot is dependent of if you do the same thing and expect different results. When you see people behave in a certain way, they always get the same results. It's very clear. So I try to look at patterns in the marketing and in the sales.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, do you think like people are like predictable, Rickard?
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
So if you have like a sort of a system and a way to approach them, and a way to communicate, you kind of would know the end result. Would that
Yeah,
be kind of a thing?
yeah, in the majority of times, right? Yes.
And do you think that can be applied to any field? Like, you could, that's like, because now we're talking like marketing and sales a bit, but maybe that's true in other areas of life as well, I imagine.
Of course, in relationships, in everything. If you can see a pattern, you can almost every time see the end result.
So what are
Because
the most say you want to market something, right? And like the Digital Freedom Coach podcast, like the listener mostly are kind of people that just at the beginning of the entrepreneurial journey, or they just started something, right? And what do you see like are the most like critical components, say, if you want to sell something or you want to market something, maybe it's like in like a service, so it's a product, like what would your like main keys or main advices be, in order to actually be successful in that?
in the beginning, I would easily write down my 100 dream clients.
Yeah.
That's the first step, because to see the pattern, you need a human being, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would just analyze everything they do on social, and try to see, okay, so what's the pattern in their communication, what's the pattern in their, in their core values, uh, what's the pattern between all those clients, because you can see it as well, like I said before, I have to do venues that is city hotels, and I
Yeah.
have resorts, but in the end of the day, it's just people. I can see people moving towards both, because they are people, so what's the pattern in those venues? That's what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing, like if you have 100 dream clients, what's the pattern that can make you understand what you're going to communicate? So for example, let's say you're now I just throw something out there. You work with weddings, okay? You plan weddings, for example.
Yeah.
Then you have your dream clients. It's maybe 100 wealthy couples that are
Yeah.
engaged. Okay, so what's the pattern? One thing is they're wealthy, right? Okay, they have money. Okay, uh, so when you have money, what is like? What's the most important for you then? If you compare it to people that don't have money, okay. And then you can just analyze. Okay, so in my opinion, we see that the most important for those is like the quality, and also that they have like all these guests, for example. That's the pattern. Okay, then you just communicate. So our USP, unique selling points, is that we always work with weddings that has a lot of guests. That's the main issue, and how we work with those is XYZ. And then we also always bring quality, and how we do it is by XYZ, and the reference you can talk to is XYZ. So you go for the kill all the time. Your unique selling point is exactly where the pattern should be. And
Okay.
then you see, okay, so that's what's very important for me. I'm going to buy, because people want to buy something they feel is goes hand in hand with their core values, not in ours. But you can always see the pattern, which people are the one who is like we're going to put all our energy in, which 20% is going to give us 80% of our commercial measure, or don't. And how you're going to communicate, how you're going to pinpoint your communication is by see the pattern, and you will see it very, very fast if you just look at all how they communicate every single day, and then you will see that they communicate, many of them, in the same way. And there is your point in. Then you just modularize it. You
Okay.
just, like you say in a neuro-linguistic programming, you just mirror it, do the same thing, same words, and then you are in.
Okay, cool. I'm thinking it's like I did an episode before about the avatar, right? The
Yeah, yeah,
target
that's very
audience,
good.
and like
Great.
for me, like my experience is that it's taken a while, like Rickard, to actually start to understand my avatar. Like in the beginning, I thought, it's this target group, and they are interested in what I do, and then I approach them, and it seems like they are not that interested actually in what I do, and then I had to modify, and then I think, oh, it's this group, they're interested in what I do. I
Yeah,
think I went through maybe, I don't know, like 10 different target audiences, right?
yeah,
And
and
at the
that's the
end of the
journey.
day, I have something better, but it's like a journey in itself. It's not an easy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's the journey. If we could like pinpoint the perfect avatar the first time, we
Yeah.
would then we have hit the jackpot. It
Yeah.
don't work like that, because you always think that, okay, so it's, for example,
Yeah.
when I was going in the hotel business, the first one I was, okay, so what's the audience group? Now people I worked with 30, 40, 50 years plus.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, it's this older couple that this have a lot of, like, have a good income, yearly income, and can spend it, right? Those are the one we want. Okay, so why is that? Oh, because they have like good behavior, and they have a lot of money, and they just spend when they are in the hotels. Okay, so, okay, I got you. And then when I look at the data, I say,
Yeah.
but wait, it's the 24 to the 27-year-old women, and especially women, that follows us on social, and are the one who come back a month again, a month again. And if you multiply those 5 times they come every single year, it's so much more than this couple who spends 4,000 once, when these people spend 2,000 5 times. So you have to analyze, and you have to, like, and what you need to do also is that this is a work in progress all the time.
Yeah.
What your avatar today is not going to look the same in a year, because the market change. People change, and sometimes something happens, like COVID and this stuff, and everyone needs your service. And it can be from like this. For example, you see all those housewives, and this should be some. For example, I need this, to keep myself. I keep myself motivated and keep myself healthy. To a green change, when it's just the CEOs that need this in the workplace, because they need to be proactive and perform at a high standard. You can't predict this. You can just follow the data and try to see the patterns,
Mm-hmm.
and be very adjustable.
Cool.
That's
So
my advice.
yeah, yeah. So basically, it's like a numbers game as well, in a sense, right? Like in the sense of like what I do as well, test-based nutrition or business part or whatever, and different projects. It's kind of one thing is to actually kind of have a feeling, like a gut feeling, and go for something, and like, maybe it works. And the other thing is, let's check the numbers. you
Yeah,
know,
of course.
we do
And
this
then you can
thing
see
and we get the result, right?
the pattern as well. I mean, you have, like, in your communication, you have like a magnet, like twice, two podcasts. You're very
Yeah.
active on social, and then you see, okay, so what's the multiply here? Yeah, okay, from my English podcast, this one, I get these 30-year-old women. Okay, for example. And then in my Swedish, I get these 50-year-old men. Okay, but from Facebook, I got these 40-year-old women that are mostly, like, have 2 kids and not maybe remarried. Uh, and then you see the pattern. Okay, so which gender is it? Because you're going to see, I guarantee you're going to see a huge difference in the end line. You're going to see it, and then you can say, okay, so and why is that? Why is that Facebook draw more attention from this pattern people than, for example, from the podcast? That's the main question. Why? Okay, but like you do today is the exactly the perfect thing, and I would also recommend it to all those who start a business and have it as well. You have this magnet, and you just have to put some content for every single corner, because people love podcasts, some of them. Other people just love to scroll in the feed, at
Yeah.
LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook. You need to reach everyone, and then you need to be persuading in mirror how they talk, with and how you front yourself. Like, okay, so who am Erik at Facebook and podcast? It should be the same person, but also your authority in those channels needs to be different, because it's different platforms. You target different people, but in the end of the day, it's a commercial measure. That's the end line you want them to go through in your funnel.
Yeah.
And then you have to analyze, why does people, for example, listen to this podcast for an hour, but people don't go back a step and ask themselves, so why do I get this traffic? Why do people follow me seriously? When they get the answer from it, then they can see the pattern, believe me, in all those measures. No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I can share. Like on LinkedIn, I'm quite active on LinkedIn, and then it's more like business, and can be men and women. I'm not sure if there's like a big difference there, but it's more business oriented, personal growth. kind of entrepreneurs or like people that want to become entrepreneurs. So that's kind of that demographic. While on Facebook, it's more like possible like customers and coaching clients, and the demographic it's quite different. And I think maybe on Facebook it's more women rather than men for
Yeah.
some reason. While
Yeah.
I'm still trying to like I have like men as my target audience. Well, I had
Yeah.
before anyway. So
Yeah.
but I get that result, right?
Then you have to ask
Yeah,
yourself, Erik,
yeah,
okay, so is it my communication that attracts women, or is it just a platform?
yeah,
I believe that it's the communication.
yeah,
Then you need maybe be even more manlier or in your copy, that it,
yeah, yeah,
and make also all these concrete references as men. So you target men by showing men. You understand?
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah,
social proof is just like mainly clients.
yeah,
That is my response.
yeah,
Because if you see, for example, if you see the different campaigns out there, when they have, if you have, for example, some cosmetics, 95 to 99, even 100%, sometimes they just show up young females, right?
yeah,
Who use their products because that's the mainly target. That's the one who use their
sure,
to 99%
sure,
their services. Then and people also reacts to when they can feel something like people buy from people they want to become, and also people like them. And who are following you? It's women. Okay, of course you have to front the women that use the product, right?
yeah,
Because if you front the men, it don't make any sense.
yeah,
So that's the same thing here. If you something attracts women, okay, and then you have to ask yourself, go back now, say, what is that? And if I'm going to give you a tip, is okay, if you go back to the different platforms, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but LinkedIn attracts men, for example. Okay, so what's the difference in your copy in LinkedIn versus Facebook? You're going to see it. Believe me, if it's you have more emojis, it's less personal life. I have no idea, but you're going to see the pattern 100%.
I believe you. No, I think if I think the main difference is, but that's just my theory, kind of, because I talk a lot about health, right? And I'm more on Facebook, like health, and I believe that women are often more open to talk about health and those areas, those issues, and men, as I'm a man myself, we tend to be a bit more like not sharing that much. So I think it's easier to approach the subject. That's my
Okay, and
theory anyway.
now we are in a very interesting subject because okay, you know the objective, right? You know
Yeah,
why people don't do it. Then you have to raise that more.
yeah,
Like, okay, so what I see out there is that men just are afraid because of I don't know position of weakness or whatever to show their feelings. I'm not saying everyone, but like the majority. Okay, so what can we do about it? Then you don't speak to the women in this case. You speak
yeah,
directly to the men because that's our, if we have to generalize everyone, our objective, right? But
yeah,
females maybe have other objectives. So you have to understand what's the main objective and overcome. Um, how you say in English? You have to put it up and you have to overcome it before it even comes up. I don't know. In Swedish,
yeah,
we
yeah,
undgår det.
yeah.
So that's what I would do if I were you, 100%.
Okay, okay.
Because if you talk openly with it, it don't goes hand in hand with their core values, like I said
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
because that's not their world.
Yeah, I think that's a fascinating topic. I'm gonna ask you a few other things as well, but I can also share, like, I'm building a team, and a few of them that will listen to this podcast, I'm sure, So I have business partners in Germany and the US and France, Sweden, and customers all over, right? So, but I find that the business people I work with kind of it's a bit more women,
Mm.
like, and in health, and the men I work with are kind of coming from like an engineering background sometimes,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it's like two different worlds that I meet, and we kind of combine and blend these two words. But the men
yeah,
tend to be like engineers a bit, and the women like health coaching background, and I'm in the middle. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting, because apparently I'm like attracting those demographics, like those
Yeah.
groups. Right? So I'm
Yeah.
thinking of what is that saying about myself. So I'm learning something here. I think that's very interesting.
Right. And to do a reference when it comes to that, I know Toys R Us who went. Yeah. Okay. No, that's not a good reference now with. Okay, but yeah, it is. A couple of years ago, they tried to do this. They had some persuasion technique in when it comes to sell toys, and it just targeted, the parents, right? The problem was the parents don't care,
Yeah.
and the parents want to like keep hoarding their money. They don't want to waste it because they know that okay, so a toy is, for example, used in once, twice, and then the kid don't care about it. It's very expensive for so little time. But then they understood that okay, but if we can target the child, and the child can like how you say expect it from the parents, it's a whole another sales process, right? So how they did it was because by every single time they knew that families out there back in the days looked at TV together. So they didn't have parents bought this to their kids like they had before. They had kids who was excited about this.
Yeah.
And then the kids felt, that attracted the kids, not the parents, in the same sofa. They felt, that is me, that is my world. Yeah. And then they knew that the kid was the serious influencer in this, but it was not like the decision maker, but this was the internal influencer.
Yeah.
And then there was why when their e-marketing back and forth went up in the roof, because they knew that okay, now we can develop on it.
Sure.
Now we can just growth on it.
Yeah.
So you have to understand who's the internal influencer in this one, not the decision maker, the influencer, and why is that, and how's the process. Then you can see the pattern.
I think that's good value as well for the listener, right? So if you're listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, it's on YouTube as well. Okay, so you're building something, you're targeting someone, you have a target audience, but that might not actually be, that might be the decision maker, but not the internal influence, right? Two different things. So think about that, because if you switch that perspective, it might be, oh, it's not this person, it's this person, everything changes, right?
Don't point on the decision maker, point on influencer. In hotel businesses, we know that many times it's the guy who pays for the visit, right? When it comes to couple, but we know that the internal influencer is the girl, right? She's the one who's going to make him go to the spa, and not the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
So she don't hold the money, but she holds the power.
So I'm curious then also, Rickard, like share a bit about your role as social media specialist. What do you do as a social media specialist?
I work now. My role in internal has changed from paid social to e-com. So now I convert a lot. I look on the whole Nordic, the different, almost 40 different websites and see, okay, so how can we convert based by science and based by facts and based by patterns. And why is that, that people are having 50% bounce rate in one hotel in Oslo, but they have like 15% in another? Why is that 60% of the Norwegian people who are living in Oslo choose this hotel before, like in front of this hotel, even if this hotel is more expensive? So right now I'm more strategic and try to, I try to find those questions in this eternal and find those answers in these eternal questions. But it's much why. Right now I analyze a lot of data and try to convert every single one, because we have a lot of traffic, but we need challenges when it comes to convert this, right? Convert optimization in the organization.
Okay,
that's what I'm doing mostly on my time.
Okay. So you get the traffic and you see if you can convert the traffic, and you see if you can get a certain end result, right?
And also why people don't, we have, for example, we have 1,000 people in this landing page, but 999 people left. Why is that?
Yeah.
But then we do another like A/B test for different hotel, like 400 meters there away, when we see, okay, so 50% left. Okay, so why did 500 people stay when it was a lot more expensive than the last one? It was the copy, or, so I just analyze and try to see the pattern, because that's my strength, to use the science, to use these human behavior patterns, and just try to, I don't know, fix the puzzle in some way.
Can I
It's
ask?
very important that people do it as well. Very important.
But
because you can find very much, you have one theory when it comes into it, like, okay, so this is the hard truth. Then you see very, very fast that, okay, so I have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm so deep. The data is going to show you what's the reality. It's going to hurt because, we people try to talk always from inside and out instead of from outside and in.
Yeah.
If we change that mindset, everything is going to be so much simpler. If you let the data show you what the real truth is, and you can take it, and don't hate yourself because it's not a mistake, it's just experience, you will have so much more to work on with, and have the right communication style. For example, when you have Instagram, if you talk about it, people put on content that say, okay, I love this content, I love this picture. But like I said, I don't care if you love it, because it's not inside out, it's from outside in. You put out a bit of content and you have to wait for the response. It's okay, so my audience says that this one is the best. Is this audience what I want? Yeah, it is. Then it is the best, even if you don't think it is so. If that's the best painting, it is the best painting, not the one you like, because that's the most, that had most engagement, right?
Yeah.
It's very unselfish game, very unselfish game. So change the mindset from inside out to outside in. Just throw it out there and see which one is like most appreciated, and then build on it every single day. And ask yourself, why is that a build on it? People maybe, it's like when you go in a store, everyone don't like the same food, right?
Yeah.
But we are in the same store.
Yeah.
So what should you do? Close the store or
close the store?
Sell what people want. Yeah, if they want meat, sell meat. So if they want salad, sell salad. It is why McDonald's is so extremely good at it, because they know people buy burgers. We give them burgers. We don't do anything. They tried to make salad. It was a flop.
Yeah.
Because people that buy McDonald's want burger, nothing else. They don't want hot dogs. They don't want salad. They want burgers. So give them burgers. You understand?
I understand. I'm thinking like Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I have 2 accounts. It's like one, the Digital Freedom Coach, and then another one which is more like customer oriented and coaching and clients and so on. And like Instagram, it's not my main profile. I'm more on LinkedIn, right? And I'm exploring a few other things.
How come?
But like on Instagram, it's like when it comes like the coaching part of my Instagram presence, I added lots of content about cold exposure, cold baths, and those things during this winter. And I see those posts, they like bam, like lots of things are happening, right? But then I add other posts, which I think, this is good value. And here I, sharing stuff. And it's like, nothing is happening. It's like an empty desert or something. I have this bushes blowing in the wind or something. Right?
Exactly.
What's going on?
So the hook point is the most important one. Okay. Yeah. The hook point is the most important thing in the whole marketing. The hook point is the one who like gets you in there. But the hook point for you may be bad hook point, because you think, okay, if I give 5 reasons how you become a digital freedom coach, I don't care. But if you twist the hook point with the same copy and then you write, okay, 5 keys to how you can lose everything if you don't have any freedom in your life, then it's my pain, not yours, my pain. That's, geez, I have to read this.
Yeah.
So the hook point you feel is the wrong one. And the only way to get like this data is to try and try and try and try. Try, analyze, adjust. Try, analyze, adjust. All the time until you see, okay, so this one is the hit one. And then you say, why is that? And then you just build on it and you never let it go. It is, the marketing game is exactly like the stock game. When you find a stock, you put so much money on it because okay, I got somewhere along the line is going to tweak and I have to like optimize it. I have to squeeze everything I got in this one.
Yeah.
You don't have. Okay, so I find this amazing. I find Tesla. It's so good. I take this one instead. I try another one. It just feel right, you know. No, I got Tesla. I know it's going to give me some money. I just squeeze it. It's the same in marketing. You find that hook point, and when you see that your audience, your target audience group that you want is responding on it, then you just squeeze it until they don't respond anymore.
Yeah.
And then you ask yourself, okay, so but that don't go hand in hand with my core values. Okay, make it. So because you're in the game of givers gain.
Yeah.
You're in the game of unselfishness. You're in the game of the following, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want followers, don't post.
Yeah.
And if you want to see from inside out, don't be on social.
Yeah.
Like I said, social media, socialize, right?
What's the can you share a bit like the giver's gain you mentioned? I know what it is, but maybe for the podcast listeners, like what did you say, Rickard? Like what's giver's gain?
In my opinion, my theory is that you have to have a mindset that is okay. I mean, for the long term, patience is key. Okay, consistency is key, but also you need to give so much core values. Your hardest truth, your most valuable experience, your secrets, like has taken you from A to B, all for free, and then you say no, hell no, I won't give all this away. That's why I make money, right? I won't. I won't give all this. Maybe my competitor steals it, or maybe some just I don't know, just take it and like modularize my business, or I create competitors. It don't matter. You have to have a mindset because one, people don't in today's business, in this world, the information is very, very easy to get, right? You can read all those science.
Yeah.
You can read all those secrets. People have books about it. They have YouTube clips about it. You can read it. You can Google it if you want the answer, right? The why and the what is not the hard. The how is the thing people pay for. Example, many people know how to make a Facebook ad, but they have people who's very extremely expert in it, and there are people have done not that how it's working. It's the same process, but it's two different values, right? You have that's why it's experts and beginners.
Yeah.
You can go and get a tutorial on YouTube how to make Facebook ad. Yeah, if I put down, okay, so this is the 3 things I get. For example, I get these 3 secrets for how you can convert more people in Facebook on a landing page. Yes, I expose myself to my competitors going to take all this and try it, and that's the risk I have to take. Yeah, I can't say that no, it's not going to be a risk. It is a risk. So you have to ask yourself, am I ready to take it or not? But people love when you educate them because it shows in your influence that you know what you're doing. You can influence people in 3 ways. This is very important for me to say.
Mm-hmm.
One, tell them how good I am. Okay, like people do. I'm the best one. If you hire me, I will show. No, I am so good. I want this amount of salary because I am good. I am. Okay, it's this one. The second one is letting people do it, like social proof.
Yeah.
Okay, so I talked with Erik, and he can tell you that I am good. Ways much, much more. Or the third one, you can show people that you're good. That's the core value. That's the core main issue reason they pay you, right?
Yeah.
Because they know you have an issue. You are the one to fix it. I know the issue, but I don't have the skills. I don't have the skill set. So tell them, educate your audience, and they will pay you. Because somewhere along the line, they're going to need this service. And they're going to ask myself, okay, do I have the time to develop this? No. Okay, so who's the best fit? The guy who educated me about it. And because you have gained so much value, so much trust by giving you value, but you can't ever expect something in return. This is the risk by being on social. This is the main risk when you are a businessman on social.
It's like I read a quote by Gary Vaynerchuk like today.
He's a guru when it comes to this one.
It's like
And
that. I'm happy because I have no expectations of people. Kind of
you
like
see,
that's the quote.
and he's so good at it. But
Yeah.
like I said, he always said it. You know, my if you look at four of my, he's always say, okay, if you see four of my lectures, you know everything I know.
Yeah.
But that's not the core main reason people hire me or Pepsi hire me. It's because when it comes to like practitioner and tries, when it comes to make this happen, I'm the guy they call
Yeah.
because they know that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you read on the social media platforms and whatever, and you have like 10 tips to do X, Y, and Z. Like you can find the what, but like if you pay someone to do something, it's usually, the accountability
Or
and
the
the
how.
competence and experience, and that's something
Exactly.
different. And that is also the
Exactly.
reason why you can actually give away so many things. It doesn't really matter, that sense. Like I can give away lots of material and content, and I know people appreciate it, and they can read it and they can study it. But if they really want accountability and get the results and achieve their goals, many people would choose to actually do something extra, maybe hire me or like a coach, or someone
Yes.
in they need, basically, right?
If we talk about this sales funnel, when it comes to like develop a relationship online, the first step is always and will always be awareness, right? If they don't know who you are, they're not going to hire you. It's very
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
We are the
Number one.
most core value in this whole world right now. It's not the dollar, it's not the euro, it is attention.
Yeah.
To get someone's attention, even for a second. And you get the attention, you get the awareness, right? Awareness have made the attention, it comes from attention. Then you have to get the trust. And the trust is by be very unself, because if you say, okay, so I know how to do Facebook ads, okay, I want $4.99 for it. How come? I can go on YouTube, I can learn by myself. But if you twist that hook point and say, okay, so for $4.99, I can learn you this, if you want to be paid. I can learn the secrets about XYZ that have made millions and millions, and this value should be at least $5,000.
Yeah.
Then it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want a little bit, a piece of, like I said, you want some commercial activity for all those tips, but you give so much value if you compare to what you, in this case, will get paid.
Yeah.
But like I said, your competitor can also pay this $4.99 and take care of and get all those insights. So what's the difference? The only difference is that you get $4.99 out of it,
Yeah.
not that the insights like or so. If you so and also when you have when you have educated them over and over and over again and be this top of the line all the time, when it comes to conversion, you are top of mind. When they sit in the sofa and think, hey, I need to be better on paid social, who should I call? Actually, we have some main issues here. Erik, yeah. You know what? He can be more expensive than his competitor because I know what he's.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting through it. I know if I hire him, I'm going to get results. I'm going to give it fast because I trust him.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
awareness creates. I'm sorry. Attention creates awareness. Awareness creates. Give you opportunity to build this rapport, build this trust, and when it's time, they go in to contact you, and then it's conversion, and then it's money. So the social selling game is far, far away. Or you can just, if you drive e-com, you can do some paid social ads and say, yeah, $4.99, you got this amazing Air Max. Click through this campaign today, minus 20% rabatt discount in 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's also strategy, but not maybe if you, but not in the long term.
Okay. So so that's okay. So I'm thinking know, like, and trust. That's often what I talk about when I kind of coach and mentor like business partners. Like, yeah, know, like, and trust. When you have that, people want to do business with you.
Yes. Very simple. People buy from people they like.
Yeah. So I like, time is running. I have a few more questions as well.
Please.
Not too many. I'm also thinking, what's like, because like the people listening to the pod, they are where they are at, when they're kind of thinking maybe to start a business, or create more freedom in their lives, you know, and they're kind of maybe picking different paths and so on. And that's like it's a broad group, I suppose, but do you have like one piece of advice to them? Where can they start?
I always say that online marketing right now is, how should I put it? It's it is the you have to be there, right? It is so crucial to dominate the online marketing, because if you can reach 1,000 people every single day, then you can look at those numbers, say, okay, so how many percentage of those 1,000 I need to convert to have a good life? It's 1%. Okay, is that impossible? Hell no. Then that's just like a targeting, and then you need to be so developing a skill set until you know that you can be able to convert this percentage in your sleep. Then you are free. Then you just let the money roll. Okay, so if I'm so good at Facebook ads and I know this game, and I put in my, for example, now prototype game, I put in this $100 and it converts to 1,000, and 1,000 is what I need every single day to have a great life and don't need to work. Just automate it and look and take a step back and enjoy the ride. This is the best time ever to start a business. I've heard. I'm not an entrepreneur. I was. And this is the best time, what I can say by my experience, to earn a lot of money by just invest. You know, you just invest. You give Facebook some money and they will give you some back.
Yeah.
That's a numbers game. So it's so simple. So the digital marketing is very, 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 very crucial.
So digital marketing, and that's kind of the purpose of the podcast as well, like to show, okay, you want to create more freedom in your life. Okay, there are digital tools to use, like be online, do whatever you want to do, but make sure you have like you create the awareness and everything, and know, like, and trust, so people can actually find you and interact with you and do business with you, and then you can achieve, you know, what you want to achieve. Which leads me to the next question, actually. It's called, also what I'm talking about a lot is freedom, or create more freedom, right? So Rickard, what does freedom mean to you?
Freedom for me is to choose to work, choose is to choose. Choose to go to practice or whatever. I have the freedom to make my own choices. No one do it for me. I don't feel something in my stomach that I need to do something. I'm not forced to do anything. That's freedom for me, even if it's financial freedom or not. That's my translation on freedom.
And is that something you're striving for as well, like in your life or in?
I'm always striving for it, and sometimes I have it because, you know, when it comes to working as a social media specialist, maybe I have to work and to get it running, but I have the freedom to choose, because the day I don't want to work with this one, I'm not going to do it. You know, I believe so highly in myself that the day I just say, no, this, I don't want it, I want something else, I'm going to, if the day comes, I don't know, but then I'm going to do it, because I have the freedom of myself. I am the one I'm the one who controls my life. You know, I have the freedom to be. I have the freedom to choose if I'm going to be negative or positive or whatever. Yes, I have some obligation or pay rent and this stuff, but I have the freedom to do whatever it takes to make it happen. I don't have to do it by traditionally. It's my, you know, if I want to live in a car, I live in a car. So if that's freedom, I have no idea, but I make it on my own purpose. So my main dream is, of course, to be financial freedom and maybe travel the world in a different area. Yeah, it is, but it's not most important thing today. It was for a couple of years ago. Today is just, you know, be free in myself and be free to be the best parent I can be. That's my main issue, main reason. And then everything else is just a bonus. But I have never felt that I have to do anything, because I worked in a way that when I have to do anything, I don't do anything at all. Then I make it happen. I have no idea. I know, like I said, we live once. we are living on borrowed time, you know.
Yeah.
This is going to end. So why should there be change?
Yeah.
It's not logical in that. No.
Thanks for sharing, Rickard. Okay, so how do we, like, if the listeners want to get in touch with you, Rickard, like how can they reach you, or how can they reach you?
Through
How can they
I'm
find you?
very active through LinkedIn. It's mainly in Swedish, but I share a lot of tips on digital marketing and very like basic stuff for people who come through. I target like the little guy there. I don't want to talk to the advanced person who runs a social media firm. So if you're new and try, okay, so which tip can you give me? Please follow me. It's in Swedish, so use the Google Translate. But I want to give people 4 concrete advices
Yeah,
before
please.
we leave. When you start a business, what I would do today is 1, buy ClickFunnels. I'm not sponsored, but buy ClickFunnels because you don't need to be you don't need to have a website. You don't need to have anything. Then you can build your landing pages, you know, in the A/B tests. Install the Microsoft Clarity because then you can see also the data for free. This is free. It's very simple. Learn Google Ads so you can just pump this traffic to your landing pages. And in the last thing I would do is use the MailChimp for nurturing your email and your own traffic. So you get them to like sign up on your newsletter. And the 5th bonus is be active as hell on social, in every single channel, in podcast, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and just analyze, adjust all the time, and be, like I said, inside and out, no error, outside and in, and everything will work out. And be patient and consistent. Everything will fall in place. Believe me.
Awesome. And actually, like, I have like one tiny
question. Please, I love this.
Because you said like be active on all social media. Would that be a good thing, or would you like say focus on one channel, one platform, or like a more broad?
One channel is more commercially. What's the word? It's always one channel that you can gain on. You know, it's most when it comes to the commercial stuff. Like you get a lot of money from LinkedIn. Yes, this is your core platform. Of course it is, but like I said, the world is big. If you're on every single platform, you will just attract the right people. Maybe they are on LinkedIn, maybe not, but you can document before create, like Gary Vee always says. But if you use the same copy on the different platform, you will see which people you attract, because you attract versus a guy. So the person himself. But you also need to list all those objectives that can be your dream clients' main objective, why they don't take this action, and use it on every single platform, because it's just like I say, it's a game of attention and it's a game of timing. I can be 95% on LinkedIn, but just this once, you just put this core pain in my stomach. I saw this on Instagram. I did. It was just a timing question. I never on Instagram, but this once I was. Yeah. Then it got me thinking, okay, so I want to look out this guy. And then LinkedIn, I can follow you more, but I never say, don't leave anything to no, like I said it before, this is the best time ever. Be on every social platform, be on TikTok, be on Snap, be whatever you can. If you don't have the time, use a schedule monitor. I mean, whatever, it takes 10 minutes a day. And if you don't have a clue what you're going to do, then just create one content, copy, paste on every other social. Maybe it don't work, yeah. And then when you see this platform is more commercial winning, then you just optimize it. There where you put most of your time. I don't say that you don't care about the other one. Lay 2% of your time in Snapchat, TikTok, so it be, for example, 10%, but the other 80% on LinkedIn, and the rest 10% on admin.
Yeah.
But yeah, every single platform. So important.
Okay, Rickard, let's end. And thank you so much for attending the podcast, The Digital Freedom Coach. It's been a pleasure. I will add you like your LinkedIn link
Right.
in like the show notes afterwards, right? So like the listeners can find you, and that's it. So all the listeners, be powerful, be courageous, be bold, aim high, and go for your dreams. And with that, we end today's podcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun from my side point of view.
Awesome, awesome.